back. Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thanks so much.
I thought it'd be interesting to talk about the conversations with these kids. Just listening to the voiceovers at the voiceovers at the end over the credits. It just really like kind of anchors so much of what the movie kind of springs from, and I'll ask you later about sort of where the ideas came from. But I'd love to know more about just how the three of you engaged with all the kids we see on the screen, and how you kind of just sat with them and the conversations, and how that came about. How you found the kids that you would talk to.
Kari Pitkin, who does Radio Rookies as a WNYC show, was a producer who helped us find the kids. And we were really helped by a few different schools, like the Boggs School in Detroit, Homer Plessy School in New Orleans. What was the PS in New York City? And there was an amazing teacher and principal there who helped us find the kids you saw from New York City. And she went and like met them, did a little quick interview, and then we show up
Right.
as small as we can and as sort of, I don't know, sensitively as we can. But that part was really fun, and I think really expansive, and really helped the rest of the filmmaking, because you're just about being there and aware and present with these younger people who you are a visitor in their home. So it like really heightens your sensitivity and your sensitivity to all the different like power things that are going on. And I don't know, it was like a very enlivening part of the whole thing.
I read that you shot the film in sequence. Where did the interviews or these conversations with the kids fit in that sequence?
So with like Woody, the kid in our family, is only 9 when we shot that. So like child labor laws, you can only shoot for certain hours a day. So we would just pop and go find a kid to interview in a place, often really weird places, or their home. And it was a lot of our AD, Rachel Jensen, did an amazing job of making that all work, because it was quite a feat. So they happened while we're shooting in New York City, and then they went to New Orleans, and we went to Detroit.
And is it like the two of you talking to them, and then Mike is kind of hanging back documenting it, or how much of that is he provoking, or how were those conversations?
I'm gonna go. Yeah. We did like a lot of prep, like thinking about what questions we wanted to ask and like why. Yeah. But then once we got there, we just followed the interview, I guess. And some of them we did together, and then some of them we flew solo and reported back to each other later.
Yeah. Did talking with them change the way you kind of thought about, or like how where you sort of thought the story was going to go? How did their responses, because they anchor the film so beautifully, and I wonder how what they were telling the two of you, and you, like how that changed sort of the trajectory if you're shooting in sequence.
Well, I remember like we did kind of shift the questions a little bit to kind of echo or resonate with where we were in the story, just a little bit. And like you said, we shot in order, so it's kind of easy. Like, oh, we're really feeling this right now in the narrative part of the film. Let's ask a question in that direction. But I really didn't want to use the kids to sort of like elucidate what was happening with the narrative characters. I wanted them to kind of be their own movie a little bit, and to have their own volition a little bit, or their own voice, and not be in service of the narrative part of the film, but to be sort of like the secondary thing that sort of adds, rather than like supports.
Yeah. So I know your dad, Mike. Did the original ideas for Come On, Come On come from your own conversations with your own kid, or how did that? Which came first? I guess. Did you have the idea and then?
Yeah, I mean, I really feel like my only chance of making a decent movie is coming from something I've seen a lot and have a relationship with. So one night I was giving Hopper a bath, and I was like, I think I might make a film about giving you a bath. And my kid's very funny, and they said, oh, do you mean like when people are really big and you can never capture them all, but then you get like one slice of them in a film, maybe? And I was like, wait, did you hear me say that? And he's like, yeah, you do that all the time. And so I was like, oh, that's funny. So yeah, no, it started there. It started, and not just my relationship with my kid, but all the kids that my kid has brought me to, and all the people around those kids, other moms especially, dads, parents, teachers. Like it's a world has meant a lot to me. Yeah.
I was just so taken with Woody Norman, and I know Woody's not here. I was thinking maybe Joaquin, you could tell us what Woody was like. He's just like such a force. Like just watching him, he just kind of is brilliant to look at on screen and listen to.
I'll try. First, I'm gonna. My pants were like the right length when I was standing up. Now that I'm sitting down, I'm gonna adjust them. And hi, everybody. Good evening. Nice to see you all. Thanks so much for being here. It's surprising to see so many people. It's really nice. Woody. Yeah, I mean, first, I don't know if you all know this, but he's English. So it's pretty shocking because he does an American accent so convincingly. Um, but let's see, I think it was apparent almost immediately that we were dealing with somebody that was highly intelligent and very sensitive and thoughtful and really understood this character and what Jesse goes through and what he is going through. And I think in kind of one of our first meeting, actually, kind of first audition, I guess, there was a moment where we were doing a scene. I can't remember precisely what it was, but he kind of went off on his own with something, kind of ad-libbed something. Yeah. And me and Mills both were like really struck by it because it really exhibited an intelligence about the character that I don't think that I kind of expected, right? It's one thing if somebody's kind of doing lines, but I was really kind of struck by that. I think we both looked at each other and were like, oh, he actually understands what this character is going through. He understands it like in a way that also that we don't, right? Which was really amazing, and I think what you want. So I was really impressed with him, and I think he became in some ways, well, certainly for me, kind of the barometer for authenticity when it comes to acting. I think it's something that Mills and I were aware of, obviously going into it, that we wanted this to feel authentic and natural, but we didn't want it to be like naturalistic acting. I don't know how to explain it, but it's kind of like a style of acting that's like, and if it's like acting, but you act natural or something, and I was like, fuck, I don't know. Oh man, I don't know how to do that. How are we gonna do this? And then I had this like example of how to do it every day. And so it was like a constant reminder for me of what we were aiming for and what is authentic and really captures, I think, the voice, if you will, for this film. So, you know, Woody was really, you know, my guide in many ways through this. I think a big part of this process for me was listening to him and reacting to him. And I think Mills was so amazing at kind of creating this space where he felt comfortable to express himself and to express the character of Jesse. And yeah, so he's all right.
I mean, Mike, listening to Joaquin talk about the way you all worked, it makes me think about, as watching the movie, it makes me think about sort of a documentary type approach that maybe you took to some of the way you were shooting. I don't know if that's true, but I'm thinking about just sort of the way the camera's moving, and you worked with Robbie Ryan as a cinematographer. I'm wondering if does that resonate at all? Is that?
Oh yeah, for sure. Trying to not make it feel like, oh, we're shooting now. Right. Like doing everything you can to get away from that feeling. And like Molly's first scene in the movie, she didn't know we were shooting.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, yeah, like it was like Joaquin and I were just like shooting the shit, I thought. And then I was like, oh, he's kind of like moving into the scene. And then I was like, oh, okay, I better stay committed. I'm going to like move into the scene too. But I thought we were just working something out. And then all of a sudden Mike was like, okay, great. And then Joaquin was like, you didn't know that was happening, did you? I was like, I had no idea. And I was like, let's keep doing that. Like, no idea. Yeah.
I think you want to. I mean, I'm happy if it feels like you're playing. You don't. There's no stakes, and everyone feels like quite free. And there's like failures invited and all that kind of stuff. And especially I think when we first met Woody, we met Woody together. We realized really quickly like Woody thrives under freedom. Like Woody presents so many amazing options, and he's really so smart and dead on. And it's not like we did some press today, people like, what was it like working with a kid? And I was like, you mean Joaquin? Like, I don't know what you mean. Like Woody's not that at all. And it's,
Good one.
thanks. Yeah.
Did you just come up with that?
It's
You've been working on it.
in the shower. I work on these things.
Good.
Yeah.
Gaby's not here on stage with us. Hat tip to her. You want to share a little bit about her too? You want to share a little bit about her?
About Gaby. She's also all right, right? I feel like she's okay. Gaby, I've always wanted to work with Gaby. I feel like she's brilliant. Every time I've seen her on Transparent or Girls, I was like, wow, that was real. That was completely surprising. That was without any tropes or anything. And when I dreamed of Joaquin being this, and then I just sort of had this image of them two together, and they felt like so familial, and I don't know, I had this hunch that they would like have a similar cosmos. And it was so lovely. I adore Gaby. I adore all the conversations we had around the script. I still adore all the conversations we have. She's an amazing mom. It was so great to infuse the film with her own experiences. Funny as hell, and just really brilliant.
I was saying in the intro that I guess I watched the movie a certain way in light of sort of the world we've all been living in the last year and a half or so. These questions about the future, as I said in the intro, you couldn't have, you didn't write the movie or think about the movie with that foresight of what we were about to all go through. But I wonder if you think about it differently, because I feel like the kind of conversations that we talked in Telluride when the movie played, and I felt like people were really connecting with the movie because of some of these questions you're asking about the future and in the moment that we're watching it in.
Yeah.
So do you see it differently than kind of your original thoughts?
Well, movies are so trippy, right? And your reactions to them are truly trippy and subjective. Like I just watched a little bit tonight and had like a completely different experience than I've ever had watching the movie, and I've watched it like hundreds of times.
In what way?
I can't explain it to you. Some personal shit that's going on in my life really like resonated in the screen in a way that completely shocked me, and I was like bawling up there, So movies do that to everyone. To me, this is like a post 2016 film. This film was written in the debris field of the Trump times, and like thinking about that and like our place in that, and so it's kind of similar, related. Yeah. But like thinking about the future, it really came from that moment. Right. Yeah.
We don't have a lot of time left. I will allow quickly one or maybe two questions, but very brief, short question.
Was there a specific reason why you chose to make the film in black and white?
The question is about the choice to make the film in black and white.
There's a bunch of reasons. I love black and white films. I adore them. I feel like they're a slightly different species, and I've always wanted to go play with that species. And then in my head, so yeah, this film has a lot of documentary qualities to it, and it's very much in the real now to me, but it's also like a fable. I kept seeing the figure of the big man and the kid together, and it felt like an archetypal image or like a fairy tale almost about man and child, and I wanted to enhance that. And I feel like black and white pulls you out of reality. It's an abstraction that kind of enhances that. And my head, like as a filmmaker, at least me, I have to like convince myself to do the film. So it's like it's like a drawing, not a painting. And somehow that meant a lot to me. It's like it's very quick, it's ephemeral, it's intimate, and so those qualities meant a lot to me. It helped me feel like, yeah, I should do that. Yeah.
Okay, we'll just do one. Thank you. One more. Oh goodness.
How about way up there?
Yes, you pick.
Yeah, with the white mask. Yeah.
The question is, are you really into doorways?
No one asked me to enter, so I can't go in. I'm a vampire. There it was revealed. you guys all know Ozu, right? I'm just pretty addicted to Ozu and Gordon Willis, who does that a lot. And I find it's sort of like a replication of what it is to watch a movie. You're like watching the scene, like you all are watching the movie. I'm always attracted to that. Someone asked me that earlier today, and I was kind of like, "Oh, you know that?" Because I do it fairly unconsciously. It's just like I just love that moving in through a doorway. I'll try to change.
No, don't
Get
do
some
that.
more moves. Yeah.
Okay, one more quick one, and then we're done. Sorry, you want to pick?
There was a with the
Was
orange.
someone-
Yeah. Hi. The hat. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh.
Soundtrack. The process of the soundtrack. So it's the Dessner brothers. They are in this band called The National, and they're really lovely, brilliant people. And that music is really so the movie to me, like the heart of the movie. And we did a lot of different stuff, and I was horrible. And like, go over there, and they happily go over there. Go over there, and they go over there. And finally, like, Mike, what about this? And I was like, oh God, that's like really the feeling. So it was a lot of. They did so much stuff, and it was over Overcast too. So it was like a very weird process. And luckily, they're lovely, and we did a long project together. So we kind of had some stuff between us. And Aaron Dessner's daughter gave me the story of the orphan, like she does that orphan game. And I wrote some of it while working with them on their record. So like it was very integrated.
there was this poor guy that thought you were pointing to him.
Oh yeah,
So
sorry.
we'll just let him be the last
yeah,
question.
absolutely.
Because he thought
This is for all of us.
so.
Yeah.
Last one.
Okay. About a month ago, I had a dream. I was asking multiple actors, what's the secret to good acting? And I asked Joaquin, and he said, dude, I don't fucking know. Like, I don't know. I just act. I just do it. Can you actually answer that question?
Pretty good answer already.
Sounds like I already did, man.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you
night.
everyone for
Thank
coming.
you. Thank